When it comes to the Cayo Perico Heist, there's multiple entry points, secondary loot locations, and multiple entry points to the compound itself. In this video, we're going to be looking at all those locations, as well as the locations of the grappling hooks, the disguises, as secondary loot, and much more. Alright, and at the end, we'll do a full whole Cayo Perico Heist, so let's jump into it. Okay, so we're going to start here at the airstrip first. As you can tell, we got two disguise locations. One over near the chairs and the tables, and then the second up on that porch. Now, the one up on the porch, you do not need to go up there to get it. You can go right underneath the porch and put that outfit on. Now, for the loot locations, we have two in the hangar. One downstairs, and then the other one you're going to need a forklift to go get, which is upstairs. And then the same thing across. There'll still be two tables in each one of them. Loot can vary. Hey, now I do highly recommend having a plasma cutter for that. But you can get bolt cutters, which we'll be getting to very soon. Okay, moving on to the grappling hooks. Now, as you can tell, we have multiple locations. One at the end of the airstrip. There's going to be one over here on the cliff's edge. One down there on that little beach. There's going to be another one under that guard's tower. One sitting just behind that car. We have another disguise over there on that little dock, and then there's going to be a grappling hook down on that little beach down there as well. So let's move on to the next one. Okay, so moving on to the bolt cutters. Now, if you don't have the cutting torch, now this is the recommendation. I do know I just called it a plasma cutter not too long before. Do apologize for that. But the bolt cutters can be found along the edge of the airstrip, right where that Jeep usually is parked. There's going to be one down that can spawn down behind the solar panels. There's one down in front of that little building, and then one along the side of that building, and then over at the airstrip itself. If you go down to that little building down there on the cove, there's a possibility one could spawn inside of the boat there. So that's gonna end those. Let's move on. Okay, so let's move on to the little supply truck. Now, the supply truck can spawn here at the airstrip. It will spawn right between those buildings. And I know it's a little hard to see on the map. That's the only truck I could find that was close to it. But so it will be right in that location. It'll be backed in. And it can spawn here, or it could be driving around. It could be down at the main dock, or it could be at the north dock. We'll get to that very shortly. Okay, and for the last map here at the airstrip, we have the power station, which is the little yellow area I marked on here. And then we have the control tower. Now, if you're going to use the bomb to escape, of course, you're going to have to take out the control tower or in order to get out of there. But otherwise, that's it for the airstrip. Please feel free to pause this video, scroll back, whatever. Feel free to screenshot it. Let's move on to the north dock. Okay, and the last thing at the airstrip is the Vellum entry and exit point and the Casaca exit annihilator entry. So the Vellum, you can use that to come in and exit. There's also the little forklift over there in the hangar. We have the Casaca. Now you can only use that as your exit point if you use it as an entry point to go into the compound. Now Annihilator has one of two locations. Hence, this one is one of the harder ones because it's further away from the compound. I always highly recommend hitting the compound if you're going to use it first and then getting the secondary loot. But it's whatever works for you. So let's move on. Okay, at North Dock, there's going to be 4 disguise locations where it can spawn. One's going to be down near the water. That's the easiest one if you're coming in with a long fin. You can just beat your boat right there if you want, or just park it right along the edge. Then there's going to be one over near where the supply truck usually spawns in if it's at the North Dock. Then we have that little building right there in the middle of those 3 buildings. You can find one right in front of there, or inside where the loot's located. Now we'll get to that all here in a second, but let's move on. Okay, so like I just said here at the North Dock, the supply truck can spawn right there, right on that corner. Now you will need the disguise if you want to use that truck, so it comes in handy. It's rare not to see a disguise spawn at the North Dock itself, but I have had it happen, so just keep that in mind. Okay, moving on to the loot at the North Dock, starting with the first building coming down from the airstrip. We have that cage area. You will need to take a guard out. Make sure that guard's inside where the Jeeps can't see him. Next, moving down to the next building where the supply truck sits usually, hey, you will find a god protecting that loot usually. Hey, now the god could be moving around. Do not recommend taking that god out. The Jeep will see him and it will alert the gods. Then if we go over to the last building on the other side, you can only open this solo if you use the north dock as your entry point. Otherwise, you cannot get into this building. There'll be 3 tables in there. It could be anything for loot. It could be nothing in there. I've had that happen. So let's move on. At the north dock, we have multiple locations that the bolt cutters can spawn in. One is over there near those boats. We have one that will often spawn in over on top of that transformer over near the 3 buildings. And then if you're using the entry point as the north dock, then once in a while you will find one that spawns on top of that fuel tank behind that building. Now you do need to watch out because the god can see you from the god tower. Just ask me how I know on that. So let's move on. So at the north dock, the grappling hook can spawn in one of 3 locations pretty often. One is over near the building where you need either 2 people or use the north dock as your entry point to open, and that will be over near the boat. The water tower has one that will spawn on top once in a while. Now that one can be a little tricky because there's a god over there, obviously, that walks back and forth. Then there's a grappling hook that can sometimes spawn right near that loot location. Now, again, there's usually a god over there, so you do need to be careful. Oh, but let's move on. Okay, moving on. As you can tell, I now have the water tower marked on here. Yeah, as I said, we'll be getting to that pretty soon. So there's 3 boats here that you can use to escape from Cayo Perico. Oh, doesn't matter which one you take, but gods are near them, and you will set off the alarm if you're not careful. I can definitely say I've done it more than once. But at the end of the heist, I really don't care. I just want to get out of there and get the elite challenge at that point. But let's move on to the next map. Okay, moving on to the main dock. As you can tell, we have a lot going on here. So we have a lot of buildings, and it can be tricky to get down here. Now, I'll be going over this at the end of the video with everything, but we do have to remember that there's a god shack right there. Yeah, that's marked on here with the watchtower, which you will get caught if you go through there, so you do want to go around that. That's why the long spin is still highly recommended, especially if you're a new player to Cayo Perico. You want to just make sure you go around, don't get seen, and let's move on to the next map. So at the main dock, there's 6 locations you could find a god's uniform at. One is going to be over near that god shack. Don't recommend that one, because unless you take that god out in the watchtower, there's a high chance of being seen, especially for vehicles coming around. Now, once you get to the skies, of course, it's less likely. Just stay out of that corner vision. And for a long period of time, moving down towards the water, we have one right there. Yeah, go across the little, I guess we're going to call that a little river. But we have one over at the corner of that building that can spawn. And if it's not there, you can go across. Now, this one's a little tricky because there's a god tower right there. It can see everything. And that will actually be inside the shipping container. I know some people still can't figure out where that one is. It is inside the shipping container if it spawns in. And there'll be another one over behind where you can get the loot once in a while. And then across from there. Now, the one across from there, that one's a little tricky. Because that one often has a god standing there, and you can't take the god out because the 2 jeeps go up and down this road often. And they will see a body, and they will alert the gods. And so you do need to be careful on that one. Over at the main dock, the supply truck can spawn in at one of 2 locations. One is over there, and near the loot location, and which is literally right across from it. And then there's the one that will spawn down near the water and the boats. Now, that one's a lot easier to get because there's only one god you gotta worry about over there. Yeah, the other one can be a little tricky, especially if you're trying to get to a disguise. And yeah, that one has gods coming and going. There's also guards off and across, 2 of them in that building that you gotta watch out for. So let's move on. Okay, I know this is a little hard to tell, but there is a water tower right there at the very bottom of the main dock map. Now that water tower can also be used for the cutting powder to poison the guards. Let's get the next map up. Okay, so the cutting powder can spawn in one of 3 locations, and it's the little orange box on the map. Yep. One is right there next to that disguise. Nice. And then the second one for the main map area will be up behind that little building up there on that corner. Well, inside that little area. Now, it doesn't spawn all the time in the same location. It will only spawn in one of these 3 locations. 2 here, and then 1 up in the little farm area. So, there's a chance you'll find it. Does it help? It depends. And if you know you're going to set off the alarm, it can help. It lowers their accuracy as well as does slow them down, but if you're going to do that, I highly recommend also doing the disruption missions. But let's move on. Okay, so we have a lot of loot locations to cover here. So we got the one over near the little supply truck down near the boats. That one's the most common to hit first. There's just that one gate. Then we got the one across from it, pretty much. Now that one's a little bit trickier because there's guards that usually stand there, jeeps are coming by. And you also have to watch that security camera. That security camera, for some ungodly known reason, it can see through walls apparently. I've been caught there multiple times. Then if we go over to the other side of the water right there. Now that one cannot be accessed by yourself. You do need a second person with you. And unfortunately, that one has 3 tables in it. So if we go over to the other supply truck across the river, where there's only one loot location over there, and that is that location, that little, I guess we could call it a little hangar. There'll be 2 guards in there usually, sometimes 1. It depends on what method you use to come in, the Vellum, the Annihilator, the Alchemist, etc. Now, that location, it can be hit or miss. If there's anything in there. I usually recommend just going for the easiest ones at the main dock. So if you don't have a cutting torch, there is 3 locations at the main dock directly, and then there's one over near the water tower right there. Now the one down near the water tower, you can't really see it on the map because I kind of cut this screenshot too close, but that one will spawn underneath the water tower. The one on the other side, where it looks like nothing there, but there's a little beach. Now that one will be right on top of the little air defenses. You'll have one that will spawn in the boat near the main dock. And then we have the one over near that cutting powder that can spawn there. That's if you don't have the cutting torch, which I highly recommend getting, but let's move on. Okay, so the grappling hook at the main dock can be up on top of that water tower or on the walkway right below the top ladder. You can have one over on that crane, or you can have one that spawns over near that little building on the other side of the little river area. Now, those are the only 3 at the main dock that I'm aware of, and the only ones that show up on all the maps I've double checked. But let's move on. So just like with the airstrip, there's multiple entry and exit points at the main dock. Now there's going to be 2 boats that spawn in, and you can take one of those to exit Cayo Perico, and then the entry point you can use the patrol boat or the long pin to enter. I never recommend the patrol boat. Don't know why anybody would use it, but okay. But let's move on. Okay, moving over to the little farm area on the map. So I have the communications tower right here, which you can find a disguise there at times. Do I recommend getting that one? If you're already coming in with Annihilator or something and it's there, that might be one of your best bets. That's to get it from there. But let's move on. Okay, and just like with the main dock, the third location for the cutting powder is that little tiny building up there in the corner with the little orange box on it. Doesn't always spawn there, like I said. It's hit or miss, but that would be another location to check. If it doesn't spawn at the other two, it's most likely there. Okay, so the bolt cutters can be located at one of two locations here. Here on average, one is the very end of that road, with that little building, and then there's one that can spawn right next to the loot location. The loot is right there marked as well to save some time on this map. But if it doesn't spawn at these two locations, hence the next closest would probably be down at either the main dock or the north dock or one of the guard towers coming up. If you're in need of a grappling hook, there's one of three locations you could possibly find it. Sometimes they'll spawn in two of these locations. One is over near the cut and powder. One is over there just off of the little circle area. And then one can sometimes spawn in over near the communications tower. Now there's also another location which we'll see coming up, which is over at the lighthouse. Okay, and down at the bottom of the map we have the other annihilator entry. There will be a motorcycle always located right there if you use that approach. Makes it a lot easier getting to the compound. Then we have the lighthouse. Now over near the lighthouse you can sometimes find a grappling hook. Some reason that map's missing, so it's not going to be listed here, but it will be listed on the full map at the end of these. So let's move on to the compound. Okay, so starting with the entry points over at the compound. So we have the supply truck, which you need to have the disguise for. You can just drive right through the main gate with that, easiest way. We got the drainage tunnel if you're using the Kasaka, Longfin, patrol boat, or one of the other boats. We have the grapple entry at the north and south side of the walls. Then we have two entries where you will need to find the gate codes. Now you will need to take some guards out. It could be one of the guards near the buildings. Hence could be the guard walking up and down that little road next to the little gazebo thing. And then we have the guards up near the gate. Now those are the trickiest because if that Jeep sees it, well, your disguise isn't going to help if you're wearing one, unless you take that Jeep out before it can see the bodies over there. I do not recommend taking them out unless you absolutely have to. There's also a camera there, and there's a Jeep that goes up and down the road right there. So let's move on. Okay, so over near the compound, there's two locations that a disguise can spawn. One is over at the tower, and one's over at that little building. And then, so those are the only two locations right there. Here, unfortunately, both right near a god, so chance of being spotted is pretty high, honestly, on these two. Do not recommend going to them unless they are a last resort. Still trying to find a bolt cutter while you're down near the compound. There's one right there near the fence off a lot of times. Now, I don't know why you would ever need it there, but okay. Do keep in mind if you're leaving the compound and you need to go to the north or main dock or airstrip or something, and you can go around those guards right there by going over next to the little building where the security camera sits. And there'll be a tank trailer right there. I guess it would be a diesel trailer or a water trailer. You just climb right up over there and climb right over the fence, and you can just head right out from there. There's a motorcycle right on the other side usually. I do not recommend taking that guard out though. Okay, so once you're inside the compound, we have multiple exit points. We have the main gate, obviously. If you have the codes, you can use one of the two doors. Plus, if you came in the door, you can go right out that door. If you use the grappling hook, you can actually exit using the grappling hook on either one of those locations. So let's move on. Okay, so for loot locations, now as you can tell, we have quite a few here. Yeah, almost all of these require two people except for El Rubio's office. Yes. Now, El Rubio's office also has the wall safe. The wall safe is marked with a little safe on there. Yeah, always check it. You can get up to close to 100,000 cash there. Minimals, I think 30,000 or something like that. Now, there's a possibility of getting 1 or 2 paint-ins. Always double check the cameras for those paint-ins in the office. Has every other location marked here. Here, if it's behind a door or inside a building, or it's behind a gate, you do need 2 key cards to get in, so you need 2 people. Oh, unfortunately. Hey, the glitzes used to work. Heck, I am not currently aware of any that do work, so if you want to get gold or anything, you will need to have a friend or randoms help you out with it. If you've ever seen the gods in Los Santos, hosts, you'll probably notice that when you first go to root the god, you will find a gold key. Now that key will go to the desk over in El Rubio's office, and if you open that, you can get the golden Cayo Perico pistol out of there. Now, it doesn't do much good because it only holds 1 ammunition at a time, and you literally have to reload after every shot, but it is nice collector's item to have either in your gun safe or to carry around with you like I usually do. Why? I don't know. Maybe you're looking to get into the tunnel underneath to get into the compound basement a lot easier than dealing with the elevator, hacking it, and everything. Well, there's 3 locations you could find the key, or it could be on Juggernaut. All 3 of the gods that used to have a red cone have a possibility of having it. Now, the 3 locations are marked here. Obviously, one is walking out into that little area, but that god, if you do take him out, make sure he cannot be seen by a Juggernaut or any other gods that will arrive after the primary target has been taken. And the other one is over near that stairway, and then the 3rd one is the god that walks down the stairway to the 2nd level. Well, Juggernaut could be anywhere. I just recommend don't deal with him. And finally, for inside the compound, for new players that are not aware, or even some veteran players that are not aware, there's multiple locations that you could find the combat shotgun. Now, if you find it here, it will become available in ammunition, and it could spawn at any of these locations marked. I'm not going to go over every one of them. But if you do find it, it will only be in one location, and it could be anywhere along the map. The most likely spot I've noticed is over near the little pool over there, and in between those 2 buildings back in the very back. Heck, otherwise, I don't think I've ever seen it spawn anywhere else, and that's saying a lot, especially considering how many times I do this heist on an average week. Okay, now that we have covered all the entry points, tool locations, secondary loot location, and exit points, and everything, and this is what the full map looks like with everything outlined. Now, if you're wondering what anything is, please feel free to screenshot it. Take a look over on the side. We got the Vellum, the Alchemist, the Saka, the Annihilator, the boats, which is the long fin, and etc. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't find anything that resembled the long pin, so I had to use the same thing for the boat. Bolt cutters, secondary loot, grappling equipment, the communication tower, the water tower, the lighthouse, the supply truck, the compound entrance, the drainage tunnel, forklift, everything like that. So, like I said, feel free to screenshot this. So let's move into the scouting out the island and into the full heist. If you made it this far into the video, please feel free to hit that like and subscribe button for more content like this. Really helps the channel. Well, so let's move on. Okay, so let's start with the scope out for Cayo Perico. Now you will need to be a registered boss for this. Let's just do that real quick. I paid $100,000. Wish it was still $25,000 like it used to be, but that's alright. Just do gather intel. And of course we get the top of the map. My least favorite location, give me Fort Zancudo or Grapeseed any day, I'll take that. But unfortunately, this is going to be the longest, so let's go fast travel up there real quick. So as you can tell, just pay $2,000, fast travel. No, it only takes a few seconds. Better than flying there, honestly. Now, if you don't have a sparrow, I do highly recommend having the sparrow, especially for missions like this real quick. But as you can tell, Kasaka's arrived up there already. Hey, it's only gonna take a few seconds to fly over there, luckily, so wait for that. And okay, so run back here to the sparrow. Now, if you don't have missiles and you do have the sparrow, highly recommend getting them. It saves you a lot of time. For anybody that's new to this channel, you will notice a lot of things are blue. It's more for the channel color and also because it's my favorite color. So, but we're just gonna fly over here real quick. Now, I like to take out that vehicle. Sometimes I'll take two guys out near it, but that doesn't always happen, especially at this beach. Now, you do want to avoid the plane, but don't be afraid to shoot a missile at those two standing near it. It won't affect the plane too bad. And the plane might be a little burnt, but it won't affect it flying or anything. So just choose whatever weapon you prefer. For me, that's minigun. And then just jump in the plane. So I am going to cut out most of the flying to Cayo Perico because nobody wants to watch that. Especially from way up here near Puyo Bay all the way down to Cayo Perico. That would just be ridiculous. I don't even want to fly this far. But I also didn't want to cancel it and pay another 100,000 either at the same time. So yeah, like I said, I will see you when I get down to Cayo Perico. Okay, and since we're dealing with fog and rain, and you can tell the docks are right there as we're approaching. So I like to try to stay aligned with the yellow dot. It's not always possible, but as long as you're pretty close to it, it doesn't really matter. So the island's actually not too far off the docks. Obviously, it doesn't show up on our maps because it's under the map, but as you can tell, we're just about there. We should be arriving in just a second. There we go. Well, at least it's daylight, right? And not raining when I get here, so that's a good sign for once. And now, I will admit I do prefer doing this when it's storming and at night. Sounds crazy, but I just find it a lot easier here because it does reduce the God's vision, and it seems to actually give a little bit of extra time to get around gods if you just happen to get into that corner vision. Now, don't worry about checking for secondary loot at any of these locations. I just find it faster. Just grab this motorcycle, go, and then just go up through the fields over here. Here, you do want to watch these damn trees because I can tell you where they can go. Oh, but yeah, just keep going through here. Now, this is recorded on PC. I don't have Cayo Perico on my PS5 set up on that account yet. That level 1 video is on the way. It's being worked on and we'll be going to the editor soon. So that way so you can get it done. But like I said, just follow this path I'm on right now. Now, don't wait for that god. Just make this jump. It's just going to save you so much time, honestly. But yeah, just go right through here. Now, as you can tell, there is a god down there. So if that god that's right there, well, one that the truck's passing currently, hey, if he's not there, that means he's going to be up at the tower is what I found. So that means that the box will be down bottom. It's an early hint to it. Right, but as you can tell, we're just going to go through here. Just watch these gods. Make sure don't get too close to them. Avoid the camera. And just go right up here. And as you can tell, as we're approaching, there's no god up here. Yeah. So like I said, it's just an easy way to tell if the god's up here. It means the box is going to be up on the tower. Or if he's not, it means it's going to be right down here. Could be here or over on the other end there. But just do some quick math, which I'm horrible at, so we're not going to pay attention to that. But As you can tell, first try only takes a few seconds. Hence, so just wait for this to ever end, and then just pull up your phone, go to the Sightseer app. Yep, and then we'll just head over. So you do want to check all the cameras if you're brand new to this is your first run through here. You're gonna have some other steps like let's go out the compound, the main dock, the drainage tunnel, and everything. So we do have the pink diamond, which is very nice. I always like to get the pink diamond. And now can't access these, so I'm not gonna worry about these. Now you do want to check the cameras in the office, both of them. We got no paint in there. Yeah. And one paint in the office. So that's a good sign. So we're not gonna worry about the west storage or anything, because obviously you can't enter it without help. We're doing this solo. So yeah, we got more storage locations than anything to go through. South storage. Okay, so you do want to check this. Like we got the north gate here. So this is gonna tell you that you get the code there. Yeah, this unlocks these areas. So we got the grappling hook for the north wall. Then we got the main gate right here. And we got the south gate. Hey, again, you're gonna need a code. Now you can use this at entry and exit point as long as you got the code. South wall for the grappling hook. So yeah, as you can tell, plenty of entry and exit points. Now you can actually go back over the wall with a grappling hook as well, but just go find a new session, and that's all it's gonna take. So, as you can tell, we're back here at the Kasaka. So let's head upstairs and let's go start the first mission up. Now, you can do these missions in any order you want. It doesn't really matter. I have my own preferred way, which is just go down them usually. Unless I'm bored and then I change it around, but. So we're going to go for the long pin. So I will see you when we get started. Okay, now that we got the Sparrow, so let's head on over to the La Mesa police station. Now, this one's a little bit tricky. So if you don't have a Phantom Wedge, which I'll be calling out my own truck, look, there'll be one Phantom Wedge and two regular cabs. Now, the Phantom Wedge is going to be more protected, obviously, because it's the more in-demand truck. Look, unless you have a vehicle warehouse, you can't buy the Phantom Wedge. So once in a while, you'll find the vehicle warehouse comes on sale, or in some cases, is free. Always highly recommend getting that one when it's free. But you can also use your missiles and try to flip the boat on its side. Unfortunately, you can also end up destroying it. But if you can flip it, it will respawn right outside. But like I said, I'm just going to call in my Phantom Wedge right here. As soon as it wants to load for me. There it is. Now, that's the other thing is with the traffic, like with this dump truck right there. I love how my mechanic just drops the truck. But so the reason I choose the Phantom Wedge, now these trucks are not armored. They don't have bulletproof tires. I wish we could upgrade this truck. I would be happy if you could upgrade this with bulletproof tires and everything. I could call out my MOC, which has bulletproof tires on that cab. But what's the point, really? This truck just makes it so much more fun. Don't worry about any of these guys. Just back right under the trailer. Don't worry about them. Have your snacks ready if you need them. I don't need them. I'm not going to worry about that. Because we're just going to go do this the quick way. I can drive perfectly fine, I swear. Yeah, but as you can tell, it's so much fun just ramming the cars right off the road. So we're just going to go find a nice place to park real quick. Yeah, right there looks like a nice spot. So we're just going to climb out of the truck. Look, we're just going to run away from the truck as far as possible. Then we're just going to use the sticky bomb. As you can tell, as soon as the wasted one clears, respawn near it. Then we're just going to run back to the truck. So I will see when I get to the truck. Okay, after a nice stroll around the building, let's climb back up into the truck. As you can tell, we don't have our wanted level, so now we're just going to go deliver the truck. The boat down there. Now, you can also just drive right down there and jump into the water. Usually, you can lose the cops pretty fast, but recently I've been noticing they got more boats out when you do that, so it can actually cause some trouble. So just do the way I did it. It's just so much faster, honestly, and yeah. So as you can tell, this is what I like about the Phantom Wedge. I don't have to slow down, avoid vehicles or anything. So you can go right down to the gate and open the gate. That's not what I like to do. It really don't matter where I drive through the fence over here. I just like going through the fence, honestly. So as you can tell, just drive right through there. Now you can do it down here. I just change it around. But as you can tell, the long pin has been delivered. Just wait for this cutscene to clear real quick. So there we go. We're back at the Kasaka. Okay, now that we're back upstairs at the plan table, so let's head over here. Okay, so let's go down to the equipment and go to the cutting torch first. Now, you could get one of 3 construction sites. I prefer the Mile High Club compared to the other one. One, I swear, is glitched out because he loses his hat no matter what I try with it. And I'm just at a point where I hate that location. The other 2 aren't bad. So, based on the way it looks like Mile High Club, but it could be Mile High Club or it could be the location below it. Now, keep in mind, this voiceover is after, and I still can't remember because I barely play GTA at this point. Like, without new content, I really don't have much I can do. So, I recorded this video like 3 months ago at this point. And it's just now being edited. But we have about 5 videos coming. The level 1 video is on the works, as well as 2 or 3 challenge videos. So as you can tell, it is the Mile High Club. We're just going to land in the Sparrow right up here. If you are still watching at this point, right, I do appreciate it. If you would like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, that would be really appreciated. And so always grab the hard hat no matter which location it is. As now you might have to just walk away because, well, it's Rockstar. We can't expect this to be perfect. It could have also been limitations when this happened. As you can tell, I gotta walk away again. I definitely think it's limitations with the game and not a direct coding issue. We see it quite a bit in the software I use for one of my businesses that it does a very similar thing, and that's an automotive field. So now you need to check as many toolboxes as you can. Like that one, you can tell it's not in there. Run past this guy. Do not stay in the cones of vision too long because you will get caught. And, check this toolbox. So usually I find it's this toolbox or the very first one when you come down the ramp as the most common locations, but it could be in any of the toolboxes. Now, you will not have this option if you do not scope out the drainage tunnel. Oh, and as you can tell, I did run into that guy. We're not gonna worry about that. We're just gonna keep running up here. Like I said, we're not gonna worry about that. Just get into the Sparrow. Oh, and then we'll head right out of here. Now, always do this in an invite-only lobby. It's better than being griefed, honestly. And if you're using a Sparrow, watch out for that crane. I wouldn't know anything about that from one of my older videos. Yeah, we're just gonna go with that answer. So, as you can tell, this part I'm just leaving the flying in because the Kasaka is literally so close, it's not worth me cutting out this part. But as you can tell, there is enemies following because I did alert the gods. Unfortunately, didn't mean to, but that's just how things go. So originally this video was gonna get scrapped because there were some errors in here, and I chose to still use it. But as you can tell, cutting torch has been delivered. Heist prep's complete for that one. So let's go start the next part. Now, since we do have the pink diamond, we will need the plasma cutter coming up. But we're going to do the fingerprint cloner right now. Like I said, I have my own little order I like doing this. You do not need the demolition charges if you have the plasma cutter. Or do not worry about that one if you have the plasma cutter available. I mean, the cotton torch available. I don't know why I keep calling it the plasma cutter. Don't mind me. Keep in mind, I'm recording this voiceover at 12:41 in the morning on 6/19/26. So that's to tell you something. And yes, this is the only time I have to record when the house is quiet. So, but like I said, just gonna fly over here. Now you can get one of 3 warehouses, as each warehouse is associated with a different location. I used to remember which one was associated with every location. Yeah, I can't do that anymore. But you'll have Del Perro Pier as a location, over near the freak shop, and then the under the overpass over near the strawberry salvage job, or the salvage I have in other words. So as you can tell, we're just gonna fly right over here. And so like I said, I used to remember which location was for what. Now you can take the security camera out. It's not really gonna buy you much time, honestly. It can be helpful, but as you can tell, we're just gonna land the Sparrow right here in the middle of the road. Hop out real quick. So in this case, I am gonna just turn the cameras off just to show how it's done. This box can be one of 3 locations. For each building, it's gonna be different. Each building's always gonna be in the same spot though. So we're just gonna run around here. I'm just gonna use my assault shotgun for this one. So there is one guy with a shotgun here you do need to watch out for. As you can tell why I'm using this. Just real quick, take these 3 guys out, and we got one more. Another option is to use a grenade or a grenade launcher. Always fun doing that, honestly. And as you can tell, we took all 4 guys out. Let's go hack the computer real quick. Now, like I said, I can't remember if this one goes to Del Perro or if it goes to the location over at the overpass. But we're about to find out. I know it's not the one near the freak shop because that's the other location. So this is Del Perro. Oh, for the archive. That's good to know. Like I said, you got one of 3 chances to get Del Perro. It's not as common as the other 2. No, but I'll take it. Del Perro location is so much easier because my Kasaka is usually sitting there. So if it doesn't spawn there, I actually move my Kasaka there. It's just easier for me to get in and out. It's either sitting there or over near LSIA all the time. Just a little tip, make it a little bit easier for you. Do not leave your Kasaka anywhere else on the map. You want to be as close as possible to these locations. So we're just going to come over here. We're going to land in the parking lot. Now I do need to watch how fast I come down here because the Sparrow is a little temperamental with landing. Keep in mind I am on PC with a Xbox controller, so I do find the keyboard a little bit easier to fly with, but I haven't used the keyboard in so long at this point. So you do want to take these 2 cameras right out. If you don't, you will have a few guys chasing you. And when you go to leave, just run in here. Now, unfortunately, you can't run inside here. I'm going to agree with everybody. I just wish we could just take these vehicles as well. They'll work more than what we get on the island, but unfortunately, we can't. So you just look for that little thing right there. And that's all it takes. Just run near it. Run right back out the door. Climb in your Sparrow and head on out real quick. Or whatever vehicle you're using. So I'm not cutting these black screens out because it's not worth it. And now I can just head back. As you can tell, nobody's chasing me or anything. So we'll just fly back real quick. If they are, don't even worry about them. Have snacks ready if you think you need them, or if you're a lower level player. It definitely comes in handy. But as you can tell, we're already flying back. Keep in mind the Kasaka is 2.2 million, then the Sparrows, I think, another $2 million or a little bit more than that. So yeah, just gonna come right in here, and that's gonna be about it. Okay, and as you can tell, fingerprint corner's been delivered. So I'll see you on the next one. Okay, now that we're back, so let's move on to the next one. So we're gonna go do the plasma cutter real quick. So as you can tell, it says go to the safe house. We're gonna head over there real quick. Now there's, I think, 2 safe houses you could get. Now, which location will you get? You could have it over near Record Day Studios, or you could get Del Perro area. Now, honestly, if I had to choose, the one near the record studio is a lot easier than the Del Perro, but so I don't remember if these 2 are linked to a certain location each or not. I have a hard time remembering if there's 2 or 3 safe houses. And it's kind of funny because I've run this heist so many times that you would think I would know this, but as you can tell, we got that coming right up here. And most of these locations, it's pretty easy to land a helicopter. Sometimes it can be pretty tricky. Just depends on the location, traffic, situation, and everything like that. So as you can tell, we got a nice big area to land in for this one. I'm just going to slow down. Now you can land inside there if you want. I just prefer to land out here. It's a lot easier. Don't have to worry about the vehicles. As you can tell, don't worry about that security camera. Just run in here. So you just want to come in, walk in a little bit, take your phone out where the board is visible. Just take a photo real quick, and you can walk out before Pablo says really anything. Now you just gotta wait for him to send the location. Like I said, Record A Studios or Del Perro's gonna be your 2 locations. And as soon as it ever comes up, but we'll just start heading this way anyways because it doesn't really matter. But as soon, there it goes. So it's Del Perro for this one. And unfortunately, this one, like I said, this location sucks to use with the Sparrow. Well, it's a little bit easier if you're using an oppressor. Recommend having a railgun available if you have one. If you don't, homing launcher, anything will work. But we're just gonna let it lock on real quick. So once you take out a few of these guys, you're gonna have 4 waves of vehicles that are gonna come. And they are not fun to deal with. Just gonna take out as many of these guys as we can with it. So some reason it does not want to lock onto these vehicles, as you can tell. Oh, like I said, there's gonna be 4 rounds of these. These, as you'll tell, as you'll be able to see here soon enough. I'm just gonna choose just land the Sparrow and take out my railgun. It's just a lot easier. Now, sometimes you do need to fly around a little bit in order to get the other guys to spawn. That's pretty common. And I don't know if that's a glitch or if that's intentional or what that is with it, but like I said, just want to use the railgun because it's a lot faster. Now, like I said, these guys will be coming along here pretty soon. Might have to just jump back in. Yeah, it looks like it in this case. Like I said, I don't know if this is a glitch or what, but as you can tell, jumped in. Now they spawn in. So it's pretty simple. Just go ahead. Well, don't hit the building like I just did there, but. So we got one more vehicle right there. Then we're going to have another round coming. And now you could just run in, get the plasma cutter, and run back out, spamming your snacks and everything. But see, as you can tell, there's the next round. And it's kind of stupid that you have to get in the helicopter every single time in order to do that. But I guess that's also designed so you have time to grab the plasma cutter and try to get out of there in time. But just double check. Okay, so that should be it. Oh, never mind. So like I said, it sometimes will do that where you have to wait. So that would be the last rounds right here. Just take these guys out. Now we just got one more little idiot right there. We're not going to worry about anything like that. Okay, just jump in here. Now we'll head down there real quick. grab the plasma cutter, and head back to the Kasaka. Like I said, the Kasaka is right over there for a reason. Unfortunately, we do have a mess of vehicles down here, but we'll just jump out of here real quick. And grab this out just in case. Because sometimes there'll be a guy that survives in here, and fortunately for them, they didn't. But we'll just jump back in here, head back to the Kasaka, and then we'll move on to the next mission. And like I said, you want to just do this in an invite-only session. It's just a lot easier, or closed crew session, and where you don't have to worry about being possibly griefed or anything like that. So as you can tell, just gonna come over here. Now I do usually slow down pretty far back, just to make it a lot easier when coming in, so I can just hit the right D-pad and just be able to get right in. As you can tell, plasma cutter has been delivered. So that leaves just the weapons loadout. Now, I prefer aggressor for this. Yes. So we got the Penrith building, and perfect. 707 would be my preferred, but I'll take this one. And now if you get Merryweather headquarters down there, just go to a new session. It's not worth it. You're gonna end up following the helicopter all the way to Sandy Shores. Then you gotta get in the plane. You gotta fight the guys in there, get the weapons. Then you gotta jump out, fly all the way back. It's just not worth it. It's a waste of time. I wish Rockstar would just remove that one, honestly. I don't know anybody that does it. I've done it twice ever. The only reason I did it the second time is just because I was bored and wanted to do something different. It reminded me real fast why I don't do it. Now, some of these buildings can be kind of hard to land on with the Sparrow, especially. But Penrith building's nice and easy to land on. Same thing for 707. And like I said, they can just be a little different. So there's only 3 locations you can get for the weapons loadout. I always recommend just landing up here on the roof. It's going to be a lot easier on you in the end. And because either way, you're going to get chased, whether you set off the alarm or not. It's kind of stupid because if you don't set it off, you shouldn't get chased, but okay. So as you can tell, I just chose whatever weapon I had. And so we're just going to go shoot door, take this guy out, take him out. Now, technically, you don't have to take all guys out in here. I just prefer to. It's just a lot easier. So we're just going to take this guy out. And take these 2 out. Oh, take out these 2. Unfortunately, you should always reload before doing that. We're not going to worry about that guy over there in the bathroom. We're not going to worry about him. So just walk up to this area. As you can tell, it is locked. So now we're going to go hack on the computer real quick. Now, I hate this hack here. I suck at it, obviously. So, yeah, I shouldn't have to show everybody how to do this one. But as you can tell, it's going to take a while. Oh, so there we go. Now, sometimes you can get real quick. Sometimes it takes that long. Sometimes it takes longer. I do have the money in the bank for once. I know I've had a few comments about that. I did put it in the bank for once. Still walking around with $400,000, but that's better than walking around with 19 million like I usually do. But yeah. Now here you want to make sure you hit the right one for the roof. Ask me how I would know multiple times. You do not want to end up dealing with the ground level with the guys down there. As you can tell, they are alert. You do have 2 helicopters following. Just fly through the skyscrapers. The helicopters will have a hard time following. Now they will respawn in anyways, so it really don't matter. They're not a threat to you. So like I said, just fly all the way over to the Kasaka. And yeah, that's literally gonna be it for all the missions at this point. Now, I'm not going to show the disruption missions in this. That's because, well, I'm not going to say it's rare I set off the alarm on Cayo Perico, but it's uncommon. I mean, at this point. But after doing it so many years, I'm kind of used to it. I know exactly what routes I'm taking. I pretty much have everything planned out in my head. So as you can tell, heist prep complete, weapons delivered. So I will see you at the finale. Okay, so as you can tell, we're ready to start this heist up. Just gonna go through these screens real quick. Okay, so as you can tell, just waiting for it to load. Okay, approach vehicle is gonna be the long pin. Main dock's gonna be at entry. Compound entry. Here's gonna be drainage. Airstrip doesn't really matter. Daytime. We want suppressors. Now, never buy suppressors. You can choose them there. Doesn't really matter which outfit. So as you can tell, now we're on the opening cutscene already. It's a pretty quick process, honestly, going through this. So we're not going to the main dock. We're actually gonna make a turn. We're gonna head over to the airstrip to get everything. Sorry, like I said, it's currently 1:16 in the morning, and this isn't the last video of the night I'm editing. I still got one more to do. It's gonna be a long night for me. So if I seem tired, I probably am. But as you can tell, just gonna go around here. Now make sure you do not beat the long pin. You will need it. And if you're gonna plan on using the drain stitch, that's a nice parking spot. Now I already know it's gonna pull away a little bit. I already planned for that. Now remember, you can do this whole heist without taking any guards out. Now, I know some people say take this guard out over here. Why? Why take him out if you can just literally just follow him? Like, you're not gonna alert him or anything by doing what I'm doing here. Yeah, as soon as he goes by this door. Okay, now we can just head in here. Now he's not gonna hear the cutting torch, which some people I've noticed always worried about that. I still love how the torch works with nothing, with no hoses or anything. But this is what we're here for. Luckily, it is here. Yeah, we can always use this nice white stuff, as I like to call it, for YouTube purposes. We're gonna leave the grass. Yes, we're gonna go take the forklift, see what's upstairs real quick. Now, keep in mind, if you do want to scope this out, feel free to. I just like to get it done as quick as possible, the heist. I can do this in about 32 minutes. It's on a fast day, about 40 on a slow day. Now, this is what I hate is with this. So, we're just going to put that right there. Just going to climb up here. Now, this can get a little hard, so sometimes you do need to take a weapon out to balance yourself. Just climb up here. Look at what we have up here. Yeah, so we'll just cut this chain real quick. Like I said, don't worry about those guards. They can't hear this. Yes. So we're just going to grab this nice white stuff again because it pays the highest. Now, if you don't have this, the cash and the grass also pays just about the same. You're not really losing anything, honestly. As you can tell, it comes to 403,000. Now, this will vary. This is actually a lower pay. Yes, you can run through that room if you're not aware of that. Now, you can't go into that room, but you can run through it. Right? So we're going to wait for this guard. As you can tell, he just turned around. I don't know why my phone's going off. But as you can tell, it's 403,200. Now, this payout varies based on what your primary loot is. Since we got the pink diamond, it's going to be lower. We're just going to run this way real quick because I need to get down here to the long pin again. Probably going to have to take a little swim because you usually do. Let me just make sure no guards nearby. As you can tell, we do need to take a little swim. Unfortunately. Now, some quality issues with the video I'm also noticing. So this is recorded on a 1080p monitor. I am editing this on a 4K monitor. There and exporting this as 4K because it is set to 60 frames per second. And that is because my graphics card is a 3060 Ti. It cannot handle the 4K monitor anymore with GTA 5. unfortunately. It can handle it if I'm on the PlayStation and recording, but it can't do it if it's on the PC at the same time. Unfortunately for it. So my graphics are turned way down. But we're just gonna head over to the Drainstown, so I will see when we get there. Okay, and we are arriving here. Now, when you first scope out Cayo Perico, you will want to do the Drainstown. How do you do that? Just grab a boat, jump into the water. Pavel will recognize it and mark it on your map for you. And then we're just gonna come over here to the cut the grate open real quick to go up through the tunnel. So as you can tell, it does have a glitch here, which I have no idea why it did that in this case. So as you can tell, you just want to keep it towards the center. It's the fastest way to cut through them. Sometimes you might have to go back and forth. So I'm using my mouse here. It's a lot easier to control it than with the controller. But as you can tell, pretty quick process. As in and out, I average about 8 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes. It depends. This one's probably gonna be a little bit longer, but this is also a guide. So, what the hell with my phone tonight? Why is it when I'm recording something, my phone wants to go off? But as you can tell, we're just waiting for this. So you're gonna want to do this in the same speed I am doing everything at in this video. But yeah. Like I said, just wait for it to ever get up there. So you do not need to take any gods out here in the compound. Don't even worry about that. Just do what I'm doing here. Follow the same path I'm taking. I know I see a lot of people take that god out. You don't need to worry about him. Just keep going up this route. If you do it at the same speed I am, you will avoid all gods. Now you can jump over that fence. We're just going to stand here for a minute. Wait for him to turn around. There he goes. Now he's just going to walk out into his little area out there. I'm going to go past these gods. Now you can try to take these gods out to get the key. If they don't have it, Juggernaut has it. It's not worth it. Now, like where that one's standing over where the gates are in the front, facing towards the main gate, he can actually be spotted when the new round of gods appear. If you're not aware of that. So when you come in here, you want to just check the safe real quick. Always grab the money in here. You get up to $99,000 usually. And if you have the key from a guy in Los Santos, you can open that little drawer right there and get the Cayo Perico pistol. Like I said, it's not really worth having it. I never use it because it only holds one bullet. But as you tell, just got fingerprint hack right here. So I don't have to explain how to do this for everybody. So let me just skip ahead. Okay, now that the elevator shaft is open, and let's head down here real quick. We're just gonna cut this chain real quick. Now, if you do this at night and you have the plasma cutter, there is a glitch where you can get an infinite blue wall, is what I like to call it. For the gods, now you do need the Westside heat meter. Don't let it get too hot because you will burn yourself. So as you can tell, just gonna take it nice and slow. It takes about 4 rounds. And then, as you can tell, all done. Grab that real quick. So we have $1,769,555. Now, if you have the gate key, you can just go through there. Now, that one's a fingerprint hack, just same as this. That's a lot easier. But we're just gonna run down here, run right past these guards. Now, this one you want to walk by just to be safe. But yeah, just run right down these stairs. I mean, just run right past this guy. Right, as soon as this god turns around, now you want to watch where the Juggernaut is. So you don't have to do it the way I just did it, but this is more of a risk taker method. And just climb right up here. So just gonna wait for this god to go past and turn around. Which, there he goes. So as soon as you get up here, if you alert the gods once you choose this as your escape point, don't worry about it. You do not alert the gods at that point. But if you did not choose it as an escape point prior, well, yeah, you're gonna have some problems with the gods. But I'm just gonna wait for this cutscene. I have no idea what happened with the shirt there. It seems to happen quite often with these cutscenes, but that's alright. So now this is the only god that we're gonna take out for this entire thing. I'm just gonna grab his motorcycle real quick, and we want to get off this island before the body is found. Now the Jeep will be coming around here. El Rubio will be taking his helicopter pretty soon. Same thing as I said before, watch these trees. Some are destructible, some are not, and they will send you flying. So as you can tell, we're just gonna jump right off here. Yeah. And then we're just gonna want to put our rebreather on real quick. As soon as it wants to come on, there it goes. So you can go to the 3 little mines over there, or you can do what I'm doing here, and you can just swim down into this little tunnel. Area, this little trench. And so the further down into the trench you go, so say you set off the alarm, and the gods and the boats are shooting at you. Now they're more likely gonna miss you once you're down deep enough in here. Then if you stay up there, as you can tell, it says the body has been found. So the gods now alerted, but we already got the elite challenge, or at least I hope. So we're getting pretty close to the end right there. Yeah, we getting, there it goes. So over here now, once you complete this first time, you can skip this cutscene now. So much nicer than it used to be. So we had a potential take of over 5 million. Our actual take was 1,557,208. Hey, of course, we got 100% of the cut. We got the elite challenge at 12 minutes 6 seconds. 0 hacks were failed. Full loot bags. Thanks. So that adds 50,000 on it. Now, if we were under hard mode, which means we start up when in 48 minutes of Pavel texting that the island was ready to be, that El Rubio was ready to had restocked it, pretty much is where I'm gonna put it. So we're just gonna go through this cutscene real quick. But that's the Cayo Perico Heist from start to finish, including all loot, tool, and disguise locations. And I hope you enjoyed this video. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button below. And I will see you in the next video.